Hello, amazing human, and welcome to Neurodivergent Bites, a podcast for neurodivergent entrepreneurs to understand systems, change the narrative about productivity, and embrace yourself for who you really freaking are. If your energy is being sucked, you're struggling to focus, or you know you need systems, but there's a disconnect for whatever reason, join your host, that's me, Carolee Galt, along with fellow amazing humans on how being a neurodivergent entrepreneur has impacted the way they do life and business. If you're looking for bite-sized action steps, you're in the right place. Hello, welcome back to Neurodivergent Bites. I am your host, Carolee, and today we're going to be talking about accountability, but also integrity. Okay, so when we think of accountability, at least I think of like a shamey type of relationship. Okay, whenever I've had accountability in my life, it's been kind of like you didn't do the thing and now you're shit. Like I haven't had a great relationship with accountability most of my life. Now, you might relate to this and you might not, but in general, accountability can really, really feel like someone's attacking you when they're like, well, why didn't you do the thing? Like you said you were going to do the thing. Now, why didn't you do the thing? Now, I have an ADHD diagnosis, so now I understand a lot better on why I took things so personally and why I had struggled to actually do the things and all this other stuff. However, we get to work with our brain, and so we still have to get the stuff done. We still need the accountability, but we need to find the right accountability. What does the right accountability feel like? How would that work for you, right? And so I want to go into what the textbook definition of accountability is for you. And the textbook definition of accountability is the state of being accountable. Don't you love it when definitions use the word in the word? But anyway, the state of being accountable, so liable, answerable. Okay, so you are taking responsibility, right, for this thing, whatever you're trying to be held accountable for, right? So there's so many things that can come into play as to why taking accountability might be difficult. And we're going to talk about those things today. But before we jump into that, I also want to jump into the definition of integrity, because we want to make sure that we're creating things and being held accountable in a way that feels really true to ourselves, and so that we're staying in integrity. So the textbook definition of integrity is an adherence to moral and ethical principles. So soundness of moral character, honesty. Okay, it's a state of being whole, entire, okay? So when we're creating things or entering relationships into where we need to be held accountable, or we're creating, like I said, tasks and projects and things like deadlines where we need to be held accountable, we have to make sure that those things feel in integrity. Otherwise, fulfilling those is going to be a lot harder. So when we feel into all of these things, it becomes a little bit more sound. We have a little bit more direction. We don't feel as shamey about it if we don't complete it, because right? There's a reason for it. So I'm just going to go straight right here. We're going to drop all shame around not getting shit done, okay? Because there's reasons. All right, we live in a neurotypical world. Things are set up to not accommodate us as well, although things are moving in the right direction, which is fantastic. But for a long time, we're growing up, they were not. So we're able to now, there was other things not set up for us, right? We've been, told you to do the thing or you don't do the thing. But if you don't do the thing, then you're bad. Kind of, we're going to make it real simple. And so it leaves no room for why. And as a mom, as an entrepreneur, as a human in general, I've always wanted to know why. And so knowing why I didn't complete something helps. And then I take it a step further. After I've kind of analyzed, I've thought through why I didn't complete something, I start going, well, what do I need to do in the future to be able to do this thing, right? I don't want to keep going down that path. And so basically I've created systems in my life that allow these things to come a little easier. Some things are automated, some things are reminders, right? I have people, accountability partners, things like that, biz besties, mentors. I have a lot of community, a lot of people, a lot of things surrounding me that help hold me accountable. And I've thrown shame out the window. Shame does not, It might try to pop into my little bubble, but shame is not allowed in, because there's a reason for everything that we do. There's a reason for the things that we don't do, and we really need to feel into what those are. All right, so when it comes to accountability, as I said, we want to make sure we're creating things and doing things in a relationship with people, friendships, intimate relationships, all those things, any sort of relationship with people where we feel an integrity. Like we feel it's an honest connection, communication. We also want to feel an integrity with our business and the things that we're doing in our business and the things that we're delivering to our clients or the products we're producing, right? We want to feel like $1 million. We want to feel honest and confident in those things. And that is how we feel in integrity. All right, that's at least how I explain it anyway. I would love to hear how you would explain it. If you'd like to, let me know. Send me a DM, and we can chat about it, right? As I'm going back to the beginning here, accountability can feel really shamey, right? But we're throwing shame out the window. And it can feel really like it can stress you out. It can be very nervous energy, okay? And so what I have learned over the years, especially since I've started really enrolling the right people and systems into my life, is that when you find the right accountability thing, whether that be a person, whether that be a system, whatever it is, once you find that, that's when things start to work a lot better. Thing isn't making you feel shame. That human is giving you grace, whatever that is, right? And you're then ensuring that you're creating those things in alignment with how you truly want to feel, right? So how I do accountability with my clients is that we create this plan, all right? We all need a plan. We all need a direction. We all need clarity, right? So we create this plan. And then we put in place small bite-sized action steps to be able to execute this plan, actually put this plan into place. Okay, this plan could also be a system, right? It's the same idea. So we create bite-sized action steps for this system to be able to be put into place. So whether it's a plan or a system, we're creating deadlines, or, these are flexible deadlines depending on what your desires and goals are, right? I like to give myself flexible deadlines though, but then ample amount of time to actually take action on it, not trying to make myself rush, really feeling into it and things like that. And so that's the type of accountability that I give to my clients, is that like I said, we create that plan for, that social media, for that business, for that system, whatever it is. And then we break it down, we create these bite-sized action steps, and then we actually take action on those bite-sized action steps, and we have the accountability if we get stuck, or if we're not really sure, we need some clarity, or, whatever it is that's standing in your way from, here's the plan, we created the plan, to now I have to take action on the plan and whatever is there. Are you stuck? Do you not have the resources? Are you not sure what the next step is? Do you need some encouragement and motivation? Do you need some something that tells you that you do need to take action on this? Do we need a training? Like, what do we need that's missing at this given moment to be able to then take action on it? I take accountability in that respect, because there is always something bigger hiding. That's how I explain it. It's hiding somewhere, and we have to ask the right questions to get it to come out and show itself. So then we can create this plan or take this action, depending on what it is, to be able to get past that, so that you can follow through with what you truly desire. Okay? So I take a completely different approach to accountability, because that feels really good to me. For me to stay in integrity, I put forth this form of like, we're going to figure it all out. We're going to hash it out, and we're going to figure out what is the best next step for you to be able to still get that bite-sized action step checked off that list. Okay. And 90% of the time I just ask the questions with their pointed questions, right? And you come up with the answer, because when your brain when your brain came up with the answer, there is now far less obstacles in the way than if I told you what to do right now. Unless it was what you asked me for, right? But I always come at it from a way of, you are going to figure it out, because we all truly hold most of the answers to these things, right? Or we have the capabilities to be able to go find them, right? And so sometimes we just need to pull them out. Sometimes we just need to pull out this problem that is festering somewhere, that is causing some sort of, slowing or whatever it looks like, right? It's causing some sort of issue for you. So I'm also going to give you a little flip here. So how do I use accountability? Because I said I do this for my clients. How do I use accountability? I actually use some systems. I use ClickUp for accountability. I input deadlines, and sometimes I don't follow through with those deadlines. However, they are flexible deadlines on purpose because I've created a system that allows deadlines to be flexible in some cases. Okay. Obviously, if I'm launching something, it has a strict deadline, but I'm also going to give myself proper prep time and proper launch time and things like that. I'm going to clear my schedule, not overpack it, right? I'm going to do things to ensure that I can actually hit those deadlines. So I'm holding myself accountable by clearing the way. Okay? That's one way. And then I'm also bringing in people. All right. My husband is a great accountability partner for me. I have a biz bestie that I bring in for certain things. Sometimes I bring in an employer. Sometimes I bring in a mentor. Sometimes you have an employer that you have to answer to, right? And they give you deadlines, right? They give you days that you have to do certain things by, right? So in this context, I use different forms of tools and I use different humans in my life depending on what I am going for. If it's business related, maybe bringing in a biz bestie or a mentor. If it's personal, my husband, you can use whomever feels right. Just ensure that they know what's going on, like they can relate to what's going on. You're not going to bring in someone that has absolutely no business knowledge to hold you accountable for something in business, especially when if you would get stuck on something, they're not in the same wavelength as you. So you would need to kind of accommodate for that. Okay, so that is how I use accountability in my life. I'm sure I could share on that even more, but for today, they just wanted to give you a little snippet of it. That is how accountability is kind of like in our world, right? Like how we perceive accountability a lot. And so what we have to do is that we have to find that right system and that right human in our lives, or get that person and get those tools and put them in our lives, right? To be able to do this thing. Okay. And so if you're like, I would love to have this type of planning and bite-sized action steps and this accountability, Carolee, I would love it for, to see what it would look like with you. You can go ahead and send me a DM and we can chat about what your best options would be. Otherwise, you can head to the show notes and you can grab the link for the Capacity Club and see if that is for you. The Capacity Club is a one-on-one program that literally walks you through those three things that I just said, along like where I'm literally in your back pocket for the accountability aspect, but we do the planning, we do it breaking it down. I help you work through any of these roadblocks that you're having by asking the right questions, giving my advice as if you ask for it, things like that, right? All of this is in a one-on-one capacity in the Capacity Club. And so there is a group aspect when there's a community. So anyone that's in the Capacity Club also has access to each other, which is freaking awesome. So if that is something that sounds like, oh my gosh, I need to check this out, go ahead and head to the show notes, click that link. Otherwise, you can go to theproductivityimpact.com/capacity-club. Before I wrap up today's episode, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey to empower neurodivergent entrepreneurs. I hope that you've gained valuable insights and a fresh perspective on productivity and self-acceptance. No matter where you are in your entrepreneurial journey, I'm here to support you. These transformative conversations will equip you with bite-sized action steps that you can apply immediately. Let's redefine productivity on our own terms and create a business that aligns with who we truly are. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast to receive the latest episodes and join our amazing community of neurodivergent humans. Remember, being unique is our superpower, and together we can rewrite the rules of success.